Hello from snowy Canada. This is Guy Hammond, Strength and Weakness Ministries. Hey, 2023 was a big year for Strength and Weakness. We accomplished a lot through the help of God. In 2023, we taught 37 workshops in 6 different countries, a total of 105 classes to over 21,000 people. We have weekly support groups that we run, 11 in total, helping same-sex attracted Christians, men, women, helping mums and dads who have got gay children. So in 2023, we did over 400 hours of support groups, offering help, support, and guidance to people who are looking for it. We have an amazing podcast, Home from Home with Thomas and Topher. We did 13 podcasts last year and had 10,000 downloads. This is not to mention the numerous emails, phone calls, and cries for help from mums and dads, from people who are struggling themselves, and church leaders and elders and pastoral care workers all looking for assistance and help within their church to know how best to help people follow Jesus in the midst of this crazy world of all things surrounding LGBTQ and how it relates to us in matters of faith. 2024 is going to be equally busy. Every few weeks you're going to get an email from us, and I promise not to waste your time. I promise to share something with you that will be a help to you in your ministry right now. So pay attention. We're going to start actually with today's email. I'm starting a new program called Ask Guy Anything, where you can send in a question and we will answer that question as honestly and as best we can, because the issues that we tackle with surrounding LGBTQ and again how it relates to us in matters of faith are complicated, countercultural, multifaceted, and difficult to deal with. And so I want to be able to assist and help in whatever way I can, me and my ministry, the amazing team that we've built around Strength and Weakness, to offer pragmatic, real help that you can use in your life and in your ministry right now. And so without further ado, here we go. Ask Guy Anything, Volume 1. As I've traveled around the world speaking in churches, Christian universities, Christian colleges, faith-based groups, I always offer this opportunity at the end of my talks for people in the audience to ask me questions. I call it Ask Guy Anything, and so that's what this is. You'll notice that somewhere in this email there's an icon there for you to click where you could send in your questions. And so if you have any questions for me regarding all things LGBTQ and how it relates to us in matters of faith, I promise you that if I get to your question, I will do the best I can to answer it honestly, whether the answer is popular or not. Often I'm sure my answer will not be popular, considering the complexities of what we're talking about and that what we're discussing is going to be very countercultural when it comes from the Christian perspective. I also want you to know that I don't have all the answers. I may be somewhat of an expert on these issues. I've written 6 books on the topic. I've done a movie. I lead an international ministry where we help thousands of people all over the world. So, I think I know what I'm talking about, but I have to admit that there are some things I'm not going to have an answer to. I myself have to be willing to live within the tension of uncertainty on some of the things we're discussing. So, whether you're going to agree with everything that I'm about to say or not, I don't know. It's going to be impossible, I would think, for me to spend this time with you and answer these questions with everybody watching agreeing with everything that I'm saying. If you don't agree, that's fine. The important thing is that we're striving to be people who are relevant in our community and our churches, and we're doing the tough part of trying to answer these very complicated questions. So hopefully you'll find this helpful. So as I've traveled around speaking in churches and Christian colleges, I almost always get asked this question, no matter where I am in the world. And so let me start with this. Can or should a Christian attend a gay wedding? Okay. There's 2 sides of the coin here. And I would say, maybe the answer isn't as clear as some people would think. I'll tell you where I've landed. Again, some of you may not agree with me. That's fine. But here are the 2 sides of this coin. There's going to be a group of Christians who would say, yes, I would attend the gay wedding. They would be fearful of the fact that their absence may speak louder than their presence. And because they value and cherish the relationship that they have with the people who've invited them, they would feel like, yes, they need to go to the gay wedding. And often Christians will use Jesus as their example, good example, of eating with sinners, being a friend of sinners, as to the fact that they would go to the gay wedding. We see examples of this of Christ, of course, all over the place. Two that come to mind: Matthew chapter 11, Luke chapter 7, where, the religious Pharisees of the day say that Jesus was a glutton and a drunkard and being a friend of sinners. We look at those scriptures and we stand amazed at Jesus, and this truly is worthy of imitation. One of the greatest things about Jesus was his unique and unbelievable ability to be in relationship with and to love and be friends with people he disagreed with. So I feel like this is something we've all got to imitate. And when I travel and teach, I often say, Christians are great at hospitality with people who agree with them. But we're not that good at being in relationship with people who live different than us, talk different than us, live different than us, use different names and pronouns than us. We're not great at being in relationship with those people. But if you agree with me, we're going to be best friends. Listen, this is something that Christians have got to change. How on earth are we going to be able to create a safe place in Jesus' church? And how on earth are we going to be able to present Christ to a lost and dying world if we're not willing to be in relationship with and be friends with people who think, look, and act differently than we do? This is what stands out to us about Jesus, and it absolutely is something we need to be imitating. But here's something I would ask you to consider. Would Jesus get up from the table of eating with sinners and go to an event that celebrates sin? See, I don't think he would. I think Jesus wouldn't be a jerk about it. I don't think he'd be mean, rude, or nasty to people. I think he'd, in a very kind, loving, and respectful way, excuse himself, explain why he can't attend or accept the invitation to the event, and he would excuse himself. And when the event was over, then Jesus would continue to build on this relationship and shower these people with love. But Jesus wouldn't go to the celebratory event that celebrates sin. So for those who don't go, they would say, listen, yes, love these people, absolutely. Attend an event that celebrates sin, a Christian can't do it. One other thing, let me throw this in there too. Attendance at the wedding, many would say, is tacit approval of the event taking place. The very fact that you're there is showing that you approve of the wedding. Another reason why many Christians would say they would not go to the wedding, because their attendance would be tacit approval of the event itself. I would say that for those who are family members, especially for parents or siblings, I get it. I understand how incredibly difficult it would be to not attend your son or daughter's or your brother or sister's wedding. I get how challenging that would be. And I've talked to parents who decided not to go. For those who do decide to go, my advice is this. You cannot use the same celebratory language that you would use at a heterosexual wedding at a gay wedding. Because as Christians who hold to traditional biblical sexual ethics, we believe that when somebody is involved in a gay wedding, what is happening there is that they are only further complicating their lives, scrambling their lives, and making it more difficult for eventually these people being in a relationship with Jesus. And so, for that reason, we couldn't use language that would celebrate something that we think is further distancing them from God's plan for their life. But if you do need to use celebratory language, I would say use language that celebrates them as a human being, not the sin they're participating in. So for a parent, for instance, you would say things like, son or daughter, I'm so proud of the man or woman that you've become. I so appreciate how you fight for the underdog. What a tremendous friend you are to people. What a hard worker you are. What a tremendous son or daughter you are to us. You would find things about your son or daughter that you can celebrate and their spouse and talk about those things at the wedding without using the typical language of, this is a beautiful wedding, we're so glad we came, and we're so glad you guys got married. I don't think a Christian can use that kind of language. So if you're going to go, you've got to be careful of the language you use when you do attend. I would not go. Please respect my right not to. I'll respect your right to go, but be careful. Be careful. That's my advice on that. So, would a Christian attend? That's up to you. I've given you two sides of the coin and my reasoning. Certainly, I'll say this in closing. I cannot imagine a scenario at any level where a follower of Christ would participate in the wedding, be in the wedding, stand up front in the wedding, perform the wedding. I can't imagine a Christian doing that. Okay, there we go. Question number 1. Agree with me? Disagree with me? I don't know. Stay tuned for our next question. It's coming along. And if you have a question you want to send us at Strength and Weakness, send that in to us. If we get to it, I'll do the best I can to answer it. Thanks for joining me.